Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. It's December 20th. Christmas is coming. Yamamoto coming to a city near you. Maybe. Might wait till January 4th like a punk.
Sometime this year, it'll be sitting near you.
Let's talk about it.
Struck your ass out, Jay.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, episode number 761, brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy, sitting here with Jake. Trev's got 3 shades of green on his body, and BBD looks nice, long sleeve collar behind the dish. Looks like a Christmas shirt. Are you like prepping that, or are you not celebrating Christmas?
I don't do the Christmas thing. It is Christmas colors, and that's valuable for this time of year. Got a meeting that I have 2 minutes I'm talking at after this, so...
With
Get a real outfit.
Nice. Trev, how you doing? You and Beebs.
Are these 3 shades of green?
Your hat.
I thought this was the same, but it's not. Now that I'm really looking at it,
that's
a
more
grade
like
in between, though.
It's like a bright green on your left arm, and that's kind of like a forest green on your head.
Yeah, I got trouble when all the colors get mixed together. That's my one vision flaw. I'm doing great, though. I'm excited to talk some ball. We don't have a lot to go on, so we're going to do some gossip. Gossip Boys, I think we're going to call this episode. And believe it or not, I sat next to a guy from Gossip Girl at the football game on Sunday. He's also in The Boys. That's how I knew him.
New Gossip Girl or old Gossip?
I think it was Gossip Girl. I knew him from The Boys. He's the deep sea guy, which is like the most like weirdest character on that show. He like has sex with an octopus. But I think he's also in Gossip Girl. So that's perfect.
Spoiler.
Way to line up this episode. Jake, how are you doing?
Spoiler. Now I've got to watch that and The Shape of Water to get through the holidays. I'm doing well, James, Trev, Davis. December 20th, man. That end of year nostalgia starts kicking in a little bit. Although, for Yankee fans, it's been in our rear view because it stunk. It felt like we were getting close to Yamamoto news this week, and now it feels like he's going to push it to the very end, which, I don't know, I guess that'll be an exciting way to start the new year, but it also feels like it's putting Snell, Montgomery on ice. And there hasn't been too much juice around the hitters. Cody, I think the most recent quote from Boris is he's ready to take it till the end of winter or something like that. It was very Game of Thrones, but that's how I read everything right now. And I don't know, like I kind of got on the Matt Chapman hype train at one point, and now it's all quiet on the Western Front, which James is watching tonight.
I never watched that movie, but I read the book.
Okay.
And it was, man, let me tell you.
Similar.
I've been watching a World War II documentary. Oh, bad times for a lot of people. Real rough.
Like you're watching one right now?
Yeah, well, not right now, but I have been watching one.
Good point.
Netflix put out a new one. And it's kind of like all over encompassing and covers it not from America's point of view, which I've watched too many that are like that. So it has been interesting. But they go, sometimes war goes to war for me. Like, I don't want to hear about that. Oh, just tell me like the military strategy and like who won and lost. Don't tell me about like the genocide and like the murder for murder's sake and the civilian. Like that's a bad time. You need to know. I don't want to.
I don't want to know that either.
I logically understand that.
Doomed to repeat it. I'm not going to kill anyone. I'm not going to repeat that. Anyway.
You might have to.
War all quiet on the Eastern Front and Western Front and not in the Central.
That's true.
They're winning. Kutch back to Pittsburgh.
Trev's guy was talking to him.
I just congratulated him. I mean, another year in the show. I don't know how many that is for him. Beebs, can we look that up? It's got to be like
16.
12?
I have no idea.
And Kutch, what? You're like 5'8", 5'9", right? Did that come up via text or no?
It didn't come up. He is a short king, though. Tall presence.
Tall presence.
Yeah.
He debuted in 2009. This will be his 16th season in Major League Baseball.
That's me. I did it. 1-0 me.
And if you want to feel like that, why don't you go to SeatGeek, download the app. They've got 70,000 events every day. So, I mean, I don't know. If you're going home for the holidays and things get a little stale, maybe bust out the SeatGeek app. See what's in town. See what's going on in Columbus, Ohio, if that's where you're
I like
going.
Columbus.
Ooh, okay. Didn't have that.
That's fun there.
Sports, concerts, festivals, and it's easy to find out if it's a good deal because green, like Trevor, green means good. So if you're on the Trevor scale, or if you got BBD's red on and you see that red dot, you know that's not a great deal. Well, Trev's is. So if you know the American traffic system, you're going to be pretty good at SeatGeek. And with code Talkin, you'll save $20 off your first purchase. Code Talkin, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Click the link in the description. Download the app. Sign your favorite free agent. Trev, you raise your big oven mitt of a hand.
Before we get into the gossip, one of our favorite games we play here on Talking Baseball is Guess How Much He's Earned.
Ooh.
Andrew McCutcheon.
So he's gotten, what did he get? Like an extension and then a solid deal? Like he got I think an extension.
The poker face.
Solid veteran.
I know the answer.
100 and
150.
I was going to say 152.
With next year baked in.
Did you have that?
We'll call that $5 million.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. So an extra $5 million on this number. We're sitting at $133 million.
Okay.
Nice job, Jake. Way to go.
375,000.
What's in that basement, Trev? You know him.
That's a half point, Jake. 1 to half to 0.
He's like not a weird guy. He's like a regular
I hate that.
dude.
I think what he has in his basement is like ugly furniture. Because his main living room is probably like real. Looks like a magazine.
Him and his wife are real buttoned up with like the look and stuff.
I bet his main floor looked great, but it's not that comfy. So downstairs he's got one of those big ass couches that he's not allowed to have upstairs, and like that's the.
I feel like something dancing related. I feel like he dances a lot.
Yeah, I could see. I was going like record player, or maybe like he's got the disco wig like lined up down there or something.
Okay.
Or I just had him kind of going like mainstream. Like he's just like, I got Babe Ruth ball. That's pretty sick, right? You're like, yeah, that is sick, dude.
That's so sick.
Maybe some cigars.
Stogies.
That's
so sick, dude.
Good man.
Yeah, that is sick. You want to talk about Yamamoto?
Yamamoto, huh? Yeah.
Trev, where are you at with Yami? Me, Jim, and Beebs have been talking a lot because he's been one of the Yankees. I'd say the Yankees 1B target after Juan Soto, Hall of Famer now on the Yankees. So where are you at with Yamamoto? It seems like the price tag's flying up.
No, price tag's back down. We were artificially inflating him, according to Jeff Pass. And I don't know, man. I go back and forth because if I think about a 25-year-old potential ace being a free agent in the big leagues, I can see massive numbers next to his name, especially with the teams that are reportedly in on him. All the big market teams, pretty much all the teams are in on him. They can, quote unquote, afford it. But then, look, he hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball, and I guess it is kind of a slight at the other leagues. I don't mean it to be that way. It's very good baseball played in Japan, very good baseball played in Korea, but there's a reason guys want to come over here. It's the best league. Major League Baseball's the best league. It's numero uno. So to think about giving a guy, 300, maybe even above million before pitching in the big leagues, that's interesting to me. But, if you watch him pitch, like, it's nasty, and he is 25 years old, and he has had crazy success in Japan. And I think that you can we've said this before on the show, you can kind of take pitchers and put them in leagues, and the stuff like translates way better with pitchers than hitters. And I guess there's a lot of reasons why that is, but I think, and I know we have right here on the bottom of our sheet like a free agent predictor, like what he wants and what he's going to do. If I was Yamamoto, I would want to re-enter the free agent market again. If I want to play Major League Baseball for the rest of my career and play, let's say play till I'm 35, like 10 years in the show, I'd want to either sign for as much guaranteed money as possible with an opt-out after 3-4 years. Or I just want to go high AAV and just do 5 years so I can re-enter the market. If he does that, he'll re-enter the market at 30. And who knows what prices will be at that point. Like Ohtani probably, gosh, I feel like I'm just bringing down fan bases and places right now. Ohtani probably would have switched from the Angels if he could have.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so like you don't want to tie yourself down maybe to a franchise for that long if you don't have to. He has all the leverage right now. He can kind of do whatever contract he wants to do. So I'd assume there's going to be an opt-out, or he just goes less years, higher AAV. I think he's going to want to hit free agency twice. That's a smart thing to do.
We were talking about this, Trev. Does he really have all the leverage with the deadline attached to him? Like if he is asking for more, and a serious question, I don't know how it works. If he's asking for more and more, right? And all the teams are just like, no, that's our limit. And then January 5th comes around and the posting ends, and then all offers would be off the table, I guess. Like, and then he would not be in MLB, right? So unlike other free agents, do you think that comes into play at all? I guess what I'm trying to get to, because if it does, it would be even more reason to never have like a trade window. What the players always say, like, hey, if there's a trade window, we're going to get worse offers.
It depends if there's collusion going on or not. That's kind of the thing. Like if teams are talking and saying, hey, we're only going to go 250 on Yamamoto, we expect you to do the same, then yeah, the window completely takes his leverage away. But if there is no actual collusion and it is a true free agency, I think the sense of urgency works in his favor. Especially with the teams that are competing for him.
I think.
I would not personally want a free agency window. I know people get excited about NBA and how they do that because you're seeing a signing a minute, but I personally would not want that for baseball.
I think there's enough big teams that still are looking for a signature move and believe in this guy that I don't think the window running out is a thing. I think he has the leverage. I think he's already got offers that, I know there was he hasn't gotten official offers yet, but we kind of do this every free agency. Like, yeah, in his Zoom interviews, the original Zoom before he came over to the state, they made each team give like a preliminary minimum almost. Like you need to be this tall to go on this ride. Been there. That Yamamoto, the teams we're talking about, Yankees and Mets to start, San Francisco Giants, Dodgers, like you got the two biggest coastal hitters, never mind the Phillies, Sox trying to put themselves in the mix, Toronto, like let's see when Yamamoto's flight heads up there, the Cubbies, they're still looking for the impact move they're looking for. That I think our dude is positioned like better than Bogarts last year. Like, remember when Bogarts was the next guy in line and the teams were ready, and here comes San Diego from the top rope. I think Yamamoto's positioned beautifully, and that might even be why he's dragging it out, because I think some desperate teams are starting to form.
You think they're going to go as high? Like we were putting out 300 offers that had been out there because that was the reports, and then you were like trying to get everyone all buttered up. I think this is going to get to 400 million. You even got in my brain a little bit.
Good.
I started thinking that way. Well, shoot, if teams have made these $300 million offers, then yeah, they could get to 350. But then Mr. Grumpy, the Grinch, Jeff Passan comes down and says, "That's not true, guys.
Mr. Grumpy.
That's not true." But do you think? I fully expect his final dollar amount, if he so chooses to go the long route, to be, right around 300 million, which is crazy.
What did Fangraphs project?
They don't have the internationals. It's got because he's technically not like an MLB free agent, so I think they didn't bother.
If you think if it's 300, do you think it's 10 years?
I think it might be something like that. Yeah, 10 years, 300, maybe some deferred money, and if he does 10 years, I guarantee there's going to be an opt out at some point in that contract.
Oh, I think there's going to be opt outs I think it's going to be a fun contract of opt-outs and opt-ins.
I think it's everything, right? Like I mean, to be as young and talented a pitcher as he is, like to have the opt-outs, I mean, like you're saying, with where the money's going to end up, and if you have that right year heading into free agency, which is what it's kind of all about, yeah, the dude's going to be lined up to clean up again and go do whatever he wants and be more familiar with the States and get a bigger contract. And hit the deferred money button too. Like, why not? And I think the biggest thing is, what does he want? Does he want a headline like Ohtani's? Because this is where the deferred money might start throwing everybody off. Because if he's into that a little bit, I think that's where like the actual 400 would come into play, kind of like Shohei's 700. Like Shohei's 700, like we've talked about and we clarified with our podcast, is closer to 465 million over the 10 years with the deferred money, and we clean that all up for you. That if Yamamoto, if he wants the headline and his agency wants the headline, then I think you see 10 years in deferred money, and that's how you get to the quote-unquote 400 million. That's my clickbait tweet if I wanted that. Don't really want it. But, yeah, for him, I think you see 8, 9, 10 years minimum, and the opt-out has to become the most important thing, because if he does that right, we're going to be talking about his basement one day with over $500 million probably.
I have a contract I'm going to offer you guys.
Oh, am I Yamamoto?
Sure.
I'm Nesbalello, by the way.
No.
That's not his
no.
agent.
You guys are yourselves. Okay, let's not get crazy.
Okay.
I tried to draft up a very simple version of opt-out situation.
Okay.
So let's say, now you can play on the margins a little back and forth, but in simple terms, I think there's definitely an opt-out after the first 4 years. He's 29. Yeah. His agent wants him to opt out before he hits 30. He wants to go to free agency again, and you're going to get his, I think that next year he'd be 29 for half the season. And that's a big, stupid number that matters in free agency. So I think you're going to want an opt-out at 4 years. So I will give you $35 million a year for the first 4 years. Then you can opt out, or you can opt in for another 4 years at $35 million. If you opt in to the second 4 years at $35 million, at the end of the 8 years, there will be another opt-in, 2 years, $10 million, or a buyout, 2 years, $10 million, which gets you to 300 total if you spend 10 years with the team.
So you got for me an 8-year, $280 million deal.
Yep.
To start
with an opt.
With an option to after the first 4 years. I'm 29. The market's gone up. Prices are up. I'm going to go take chances somewhere else. Or you opt in and you get the same exact thing. 4 years, $35 million again. You take that?
I just shook your hand. I took the deal.
Wow.
I shook your hand. I took the deal. No brainer.
And it can get a little more complicated like that. You can front load the money, back load the money.
There's some incentives in there. I can push the number maybe to 290.
Yeah, I think incentives can get it to 300 instead of.
Let's
incentives for
going
300
too. Let's get more opt-outs driven by like Cy Young voting.
Give
me all of it.
If he wins Cy Young, he's getting $1 million. That's.
I shook your hand. I took the deal. I'm in on that. I was going to offer a rebuttal. Now you have to choose.
Jake, what do you think about that?
So so you were the team, and now Trev wants to be the team.
Well, because I want to go a different way with it, but yeah, I want to hear your thoughts first, Jake.
It's a lot of money. I think teams are offering more. I genuinely do. I think we measure pitching so differently now. Like, I get it. He hasn't pitched over here, but we spin rate and we measure all of that. And he has elite stuff at an age that aces don't hit the market, that a team's going to believe in it, I think, more than those numbers. So I would pass and, get Uncle Steve on the line again and see where we can drive that number up.
The opt-out after the fourth year doesn't... That's a perk.
I think that's going to become a requirement.
I agree.
So that's where that doesn't necessarily move the needle for me.
I'm going to offer you guys a contract right now.
Awesome.
I'm going to say screw the opt-out. Opt-outs are done. Because I'm going to offer you a 4-year deal. Straight up. No deferred money. Nothing else.
Can't wait for this number.
It's going to be 4 years, $168 million. Straight up. You're a free agent again at 29. You come play with us 4 years. That's all we want. That's my window.
168.
We get you in your prime. That's 42 a year. 4 years, 42 a year.
I think agents don't like that, but I from the team front, you want to do that. You'd rather, that's the Dodger way until Ohtani. I'd rather pay you a ton for 2 to 4 years than long.
Now the caveat would be, yeah, you don't, if you say he got injured or didn't perform up to standards, you don't have the extra 4 years on that contract that you offered. So I'm down about 100 M's, but I get more up front.
Yeah, dude, my contract's scary as shit. What if he's terrible and he just says, give me the rest of that money for the next 4 years?
But that's where if you're now two teams presenting those, Trev, your offer doesn't do anything for me because it's the difference of $7 million a year for 4 years, while having the insurance policy built in of another 4 years and some deferred money. Like, I can already have that opt out with a really, like, the best insurance policy you could possibly have.
I don't think he'll get $35 million a year with the opt out. I think it'll be less.
I was originally trying to draw. I was trying to draw that up with it as less. Just looking at what starting pitchers make right now, it's kind of crazy to make him a top 5 starting pitcher per year away.
No, but there isn't that many because I think C. Rose and I did this. Where
Rodon got 20. Rodon got 27.
It's old.
So the top starting pitchers are like Verlander, Scherzer, Cole, and then everyone else isn't as high as you think.
Yeah.
DeGrom, Corbin.
Oh, Patrick Corbin he's like 4th. Exactly.
You look at Rodon's contract, it was 6 years for 162 with a signing bonus. And Jordan Montgomery's, there was just rumored or said that he's trying to get that, like that's his comp. So there's always a deal that agents are looking to use as a comp and build off of. And that's
I wanted to give him highest AAV. So I thought 42 was it, but it might not be.
Otani's that.
Well, no, Otani's out.
Scherzer,
normal
Scherzer's 40
size.
something.
43.3. 333 repeating.
Okay, so I gave him 44 mil for 4 years, so $156 million for 4 years.
Oh, you just brought the offer down.
44 would be 176.
176.
44 times 4.
Tough math for me right there, because
trying to help.
I did 16 and not 24. My bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, that depends what he wants again. I think what we're getting towards is what does he want? Does he want the biggest, flashiest number, him and his agent? Because I do think with the deferred money, and let's see if it becomes a loophole or not in this current CBA, I think he could flash like a 10, 12-year, $400 million, something like that with deferred money and however they want to cook the books. If he thinks he's the dude, which he probably thinks he is, and he wants to be the highest paid starting pitcher and have a good chance to hit free agency again, I think he can take that route, but it's going to come with a lot less insurance money on the back end. So I think it's where him and his agent want to land on that. And I don't know, the kind of money we're talking about, I think one of those teams would offer a nice enough opt-out that you could have your insurance policy and hope to hit free agency again.
I hope some team offers him what you're offering him, Trev.
Just try it.
Because if you trust yourself to be good and not get hurt, well, not get hurt, but if you trust yourself to be good and get that second deal, the pressure is so much less than taking a 10-year deal. And also choosing the wrong team, the wrong city, and being somewhere where you don't want to be because like you don't know that place.
Don't know.
You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty big important thing. If you're gonna start a 10 year of your life in a city, you're gonna want to opt out if you don't like that place.
And Kodai Senga, is that the best free agent pitcher deal ever?
Yes.
Like, because he was, I believe, 29 when he came over. It's a 5-year 75 with a team option attached to it. And this guy came over and was good.
Yeah.
Guys, he threw to a 2.98 last year, made 29 starts.
Yep.
And we're talking 5.75 with a fucking team option for this guy. And now all of a sudden,
he's part of the reason. He's part of
now all of a sudden we're talking.
He's Yamamoto's best agent.
That's insane. So the Mets should go out and splurge on Yamamoto, because then you just average the two contracts out and you're playing with house money.
Boy math.
You got this steal of a freaking deal?
Found.
Oh my. I didn't know. I knew that it wasn't a massive contract, but you're talking 5 years. This guy's making $15 million a year and giving you a 2.9 with freaking 29 starts.
I think he does have an opt-out after year 3, but the point fully stands.
And I think that's the whole point. I think the scouts like Yamamoto more than they liked Senga.
Younger.
Senga is now 30 years old and finished 7th in the Cy Young. So basically, I think teams are telling themselves for the next 5 years, you're getting a guy that's better than Senga. Which if Senga hit free agency
we
right
don't
now,
know, bro.
We don't know, but that's what they're telling themselves with all the numbers and data, and we know that's what they go off of. All the numbers and data.
And I think both of those contracts Trev drafted up earlier, which is like the hyper inflated salary on 4 years. And I'm curious how much this number plays in, but those would both beat like Tanaka's total number.
What was Kodai Senga's contract?
5 for 75.
5 years, 75 with a team option in 2028, and then Bieber said there's an opt-out after year 3.
I think he has an opt-out earlier, but you're still getting 3 out of him, I believe. I can look into that.
I mean, I know that's a bad contract, so say it was 5 for 100, make it a little better. That still puts Yamamoto at like 10 years, 200 mil.
Senga was age 30 in year 1.
Yeah, so if you're just saying you're doubling it because he's 25 and the other dude was 29, so you're going to get those extra years, so you're going to pay for it, and maybe there's a premium on those years because he's younger, so then it's more than doubling. So it's if I was to be generous, go 5 for 100, maybe it's like 10 for 250. So we're getting like, I want to see where it lands. I am hoping Passon's correct, because the numbers and what Jake's thinking, to me, it doesn't compute. I think it puts too much pressure on the dude. I think he's going to be hated.
I want to stay on the Kodai deal. Lance Lynn, friend of the pod. We love Lance Lynn. Has a track record, people. Track record lately, not very good. Last year, he pitched to a 5.73. He was worth it. Negative .8 WAR. Okay? He did make 32 starts, though. He just got paid $11 million. And Kodai Senga pitched to a 2.98, 29 starts, is making 15. That's freaking crazy, man. What a steal. Wild. Good job.
Oh, Senga's opt-out is if he's thrown 400 innings pitched from 23 to 25. So
he's got 166 last year.
Yeah.
So how many? 400?
400.
Got to pitch those 3 years.
He'll get there. As long as he stays somewhat healthy.
Right.
Yeah, he'll get there. So if he doesn't reach that, oh man, you think they're going to pull some fast one? Oh, 399. Sorry. Sorry.
That team option has already gone up a little bit in value. Looks like he gets another $1 million on that year with any top 5 Cy Young finish.
What do you think is a reasonable contract? Like crazy good money, but doesn't put like the weight of the world on his back.
Oh, okay. I like this. What's the contract that we're like damn or jealous almost? Like you're saying,
we're just like that's good.
like 10 for 250. You kind of talked yourself into that.
10, I think, is nuts. I think 10 signs him up to be hated by the fan base.
Opens that door.
Okay.
Yeah. And like just not like just kind of like there's no wiggle room. You better win a Cy Young and you better like help your team win the World Series or be amazing. If those last 4 years you're a dud, dude.
And it's
that's
probably
how you're
like
remembered.
It's probably like 8 for 200, but I think we've flown past that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is all just such a guessing game that we don't know what he wants. I think, I mean, I get what you're saying about the opt out and have the insurance of if you do stink, you still have these like 5 years on the back end where you're gonna get paid no matter what. I get that. If I was a team, I'd offer the more AAV with less years and say, look, man, this is what we got. Come help us win right now. We can always talk about an extension, but we want to prove that we're the right place for you. That's how I would phrase it.
Prove to you.
Yeah, I mean, like
and secretly, I'd be like, I don't want you after. I just want you for 4 years.
I think about moving to Japan and having to choose a city in Japan to live in for 10 years. I just go to the ones I already know of. Like if I haven't heard of you, I'd be like, you might be awesome, but I got 30 days to choose the next 10 years of my life. So I think that's why, the big markets have such an
he's
up
getting
here.
like, do you think he's got like a book of just like American cities and he's just like, all right, fuck, what's going on here in St. Louis? Like ribs, barbecue, like what? Like you
Depending
each
what
place in America is so different. He's got to be able, he has to learn that. Like that's not something he just inherently knows. He's not from here. Like you just said, you don't know anywhere in Japan necessarily, but you'd have to sit down and learn regionally what's going on there. Like what? It's got to be a crazy process for him.
Yeah.
But that's like his agent's job, right? Or the agency's job.
Well, he has to know too.
has to
Like
know
New
too,
York, he's
right.
like, okay, I know New York. Like New York,
he married?
He's somebody
boom.
to bounce off.
If he's married, then that's a lot of the decision making goes from wife and family. I want
25. Hold on,
I
bro.
want Cincinnati. No, you don't, Yoshi. I didn't like it, and that's not me saying that. That's his wife.
Right.
Oh, I like Cincinnati.
I've never been, so I can't pass judgment on it.
Well, I think that's
think
part of
he's
supposed to be part of the 45-day window too. Is you can visit these cities. Like he visited New York.
Didn't visit Boston
That's odd.
because Boston's a cool city.
It is,
Everyone should go visit Boston.
I like Boston.
but he's
Yeah.
not going there.
I mean, what do? You go to the Trop, and you're just like, no.
You don't.
You can. There's beaches there. I lived on a beautiful beach when I played there. That's very nice and it's quiet. It just depends on what he wants. I don't think this guy wants quiet.
It looks like he's unmarried, not married, and it says he's not dating anyone. So does that change your opinion, Trev?
Be California. I mean, look,
L.A., bro.
that ain't me saying it.
Scottsdale, dude. Snakes.
Women, weed, and weather. I think Dr. Dre said that.
The good doctor. Know what else Dr. Dre said? And
You
this
think he's just a huge
Nothing,
pothead?
idiot.
Sorry.
He's
Dr.
locked up
Dre's
in my
dead.
basement. Yeah, whatever that is.
I thought he said he loved Blue Moon.
Oh,
Maybe I'm confusing.
maybe he's
I
going to
definitely said
Colorado.
Maybe he's going to the Rock. Hey, Rockies have been looking for an ace for a long time, but maybe they brewed their ace in the building with Blue Moon. Was made by baseball. How about that? Man, in the holiday season, nothing goes
This
better.
thing made Blue Moon right here.
Nothing better than that Belgian white style wheat ale. It's made brighter for the holidays. And they've got some other offerings now. If you haven't tried their Light Sky yet, if you're trying to watch your figure maybe before a trip to Mexico, you might go to the Light Skies a little bit. Or if you're trying to get that Flavor Flav going, the Moon Haze Juicy Burst, has the whole crowd reaching for some bright stuff on this holiday season. So, brighten up the holidays with beer that's made brighter and have it delivered. Go to get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball for delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Blue Moon, brewed in Golden, Colorado. Click the link in the description. Have a beer.
Have a beer.
Think I'll have myself a beer.
Sky beer.
Trevor was
So
such
we
a
got to move
ska
on now.
guy.
We got to move on. What else we got
Welcome
to talk
to the
about
friendly
today?
skies.
What was your favorite ska concert you went to, Trev?
Less than
I don't know
Jake?
if I went to a ska, any ska stuff. I went to a lot of genres. I don't know if I ever went to a
No
just a
Doubt?
ska show.
You didn't have any No Doubt concerts? You
I saw
probably
No Doubt perform.
There you go.
I mean, Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there's no way you
Unbelievable.
don't have a crush on her.
Unbelievable. Is that ska?
Well, they started out kind of ska.
Ish.
They got
Okay.
they got
Yeah.
horns, right?
I want to
Dude,
hear
who's
somebody
hotter?
say she
I mean,
clears.
Gavin Rossdale or Gwen Stefani?
Who's Gavin Rosdale?
That's ridiculous.
Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake. Yeah, they might have went too mainstream. They list Sublime, so I don't know.
Sublime ska.
It's all
You know,
Trev
Saris
listens
does
to.
not like Sublime. Told me that.
Hmm.
Let me ask you this: Gavin Rossdale, lead singer of Bush. I went to a. I saw them perform. I was with Olivia, and another guy and his girl. And first time I ever felt insecure in my relationship was the way that I saw Olivia looking at Gavin Rossdale on stage.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah, he was hot. I mean, I knew it too. It wasn't like her fault. She couldn't help it. He was just really hot on stage.
Maybe I'm not seeing the right pictures. He kind of looks like
Ma-
Loki's older brother, which I guess that'd be good
You're
family
s-
lineage.
You're
but-
you're seeing the wrong pictures. And I think I'm saying the right guy. That's his name, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing him younger now, and he's
I'm Googling Gavin Rosdale young sexy.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can't go right now. It's not good right now. Sorry, Gavin.
jeez. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool.
Young
cool.
Gavin Rossdale, pretty hot. Currently, kind of looks like bad guy in a movie.
I don't know if this is on the topic sheets, but did you hear our guy Paul Sewald ripping the Las Vegas A's? And I think Bryce
Oh, no.
Harper and Gallo, I read in comments that they had said the same thing. They're all from Las Vegas.
What was Sewald's comments? I didn't
It was
see any
on.
of this.
I believe it was on foul territory, so I want to give them credit.
Yesterday.
He basically said no one in Vegas wants the fucking A's. Like, give us a new. I think the sentiment in Vegas is give us a new team like the Vegas Knights, but don't bring the A's here. He's like, no one's going to support this, and I think the Raiders are having trouble as well.
Interesting.
Whereas the Golden Knights, and granted they were really good in their first year, have like a pretty nice fan base.
I think that's the biggest thing is winning, no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Why not rebrand? The Raiders, I don't think, can do that. And I know the A's have a long lineage of being the A's. I mean, that's a very classic name as well, but it's tarnished right now. Like, you could rebrand very easily in Vegas. I think that would help a lot. I don't think the Raiders could ever rebrand because that's just.
And the Raiders had moved already, so they kind of like done that. But I don't know.
Interesting.
It's
So what
interesting to
did
see active
Harper
players
and
come
Gallo
out.
say?
I don't want to speak out of turn because it was like the comment said, like it was a comment on Reddit thread that said like Harper and maybe not Gallo, maybe Bryant, because they are both from Vegas, had like shared that sentiment recently as well. But I don't know. Both those Harper like live stream, so it could have just been like on his
Very
stream.
in passing.
I'll Google and see. Oh wait. Bryce Harper pans A's relocation, says Las Vegas should get an expansion team. So yeah, same thought.
Okay.
Don't
I don't hate that logic.
don't ruin this team and then send them to us. Basically, like don't burn down a roster and then send it to Vegas. I understand
if
that.
If it was a different ownership, I think maybe that would be a little bit different. You know what you're getting with the A's. Maybe it'll be something more because of the new market, but I think I'd rebrand.
Yeah. Better work. It's not going to work.
Where are we going next? Belly gossip? It's not a lot there. There's not a lot going on right now, people, in the baseball world. A lot of people are waiting for Yamamoto. We have Christmas time coming up.
But after Christmas time, it's got to go. Once you get to the second half of January, it's kind of becomes Bummerville. Like Snell, Monty, there's still some game-changing players and big money to move that we're just like, is Yamamoto really holding all of them up? Yes, I think so. But that's,
and the trade market is pitching heavy too. So
I know. So it's got to start moving. I mean, you'd probably take Christmas break. Right? I'm hoping. I'm saying if we go like 2 weeks from now, it gets more to like this stinks, and the loudness of MLB offseason becomes how nothing happens more than like all this is happening.
I think there's a thread of that, and I think I don't want to be the shots fired at the fellas, but I think it has to do with the players involved. I think, okay, Ohtani, 1 of 1, we've done all that. It happened. He went to the Dodgers. We're shocked. Yamamoto, we just did all that, and we still don't know. I mean, we just put a range out there of 200 to 400 million. Let's see what happens with him. He's the second. They like him more than they like Blake Snell, who just won the NL Cy Young. Like the teams as a consensus. The 25-year-old who hasn't pitched over here. So I'm hoping that says a lot more about Yamamoto than it does Snell. I'm hoping Yamamoto's next and everyone's right about him, and that's why we're doing this whole song and dance. Snell has his question marks. I mean, it's mostly like innings pitched. And a little bit his pitching style, but Snell has a couple question marks. Belly's question marks aren't from last year, they're from previous seasons. And then, we're starting to get into Matt Chapman, who I've talked myself into as a guy, I think, with the right organization, because you can pen in the defense. And if you can tap into some of his hard hit rates and stuff with the right hitting coach and the right org, San Francisco Giants, like, I could see that guy outplaying his contract big time potentially. But he's got question marks because I think for the last 5 months he had like a 200 batting average. So I think that's where you're seeing this big song and dance for the top couple guys. And there's a chance. I don't know if it's going to drag out till spring training, but we might even see teams pivot. Like, I think Snell and Monty teams are going to pop up. Everyone needs pitching. But I think it's going to be like the next move might be trade market and then back to free agents, which now we're sneaking up towards end of January, spring training, which I don't know. We had that the Harper Machado year, but that was, 2018?
Yeah, that was in the middle of collusion.
This is actually pretty crazy. And it just shows you why when guys get to a point where they do have leverage, they want to maximize their earning potential, right? Blake Snell has now pitched roughly 1,000 innings in the big leagues. Okay, he's 31 years, just turned 31, right? So we're basically saying if we gave Yamamoto a 6-year deal, okay, brought him to 31, would you be happy in those 6 years if he gave you 2 Cy Youngs, 1,000 innings pitched to a 3-2? You'd be like, yeah, I'll sign up for that in a heartbeat.
I'm in.
Blake Snell's career earnings aren't even going to sniff what Yamamoto is going to make because of the way baseball is set up. So when people, I mean, that's kind of the whole thing right here. It's like you don't get to choose very often. You don't get this leverage, and that's why people hold out for the money. But that's very eye-opening to me to think about it that way. Like in the last 6 years, Blake Snell's won 2 Cy Youngs, pitched to a 3-2, 1,000 innings pitched, 191 games started. You would, if you were guaranteed those numbers, how much would you give Yamamoto? 2 Cy Youngs to a 3-2 over 6 years. You'd give him, it's a blank check almost, right? You'd be like, okay, whatever the fuck you want.
Especially with his marketability.
Kind of what he's getting.
All the pitchers remaining are very interesting. Like Monty, Snell, and Yamamoto all are like, I think you could have the 10 teams that need starting pitching all submit what they think that player is worth and they can put towards, and you might have like, unless collusion is happening again, you might have wildly different just prices and ranges and opt-ins and opt-outs and incentives, because I can see a team saying, let's go get Snell, 2-time Cy Young winner, like top of the line guy. And I can see another team being like, we don't like the walks. We don't like this. we have a lot of lefties in the rotation and like, still offering a very good deal, but not being like, we're going to win this battle. That's kind of it with Snell and Monty. I don't see either of them being a guy that the teams are saying, we're going to win this. Where Yamamoto right now seems like a pissing contest between Hal and Stevie. At least it's presented that way. And Cole was like that, ace of ace. Ohtani was like that. Like, we're going to win. We're not going to lose this guy. I don't know if there's teams viewing Snell, Monty in that way.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And another hilarious baseball reference thing from his page: 2-time Cy Young winner, 2-time ERA title, 1-time All-Star. That's why we created the John Boy Media, all John Boy. What do we call it?
Man, I know it kills baseball purists and stuff because we're all about the history, but All-Star doesn't mean shit.
No. The Royals prove that. No, I'm obviously very bitter about that. When they started voting everybody in. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, because it just is half the year. Like, the way people act like he was an all-star in 2004. What? He could have fucking died in August.
Died second half.
Yeah.
He had a good half.
Had a good half.
A lot of
first half
who didn't make all-star.
So literally the first half all-star.
Bad years.
Blake Snell could sign a Fortnite contract too, so you never know which way he's leaning. He might just quit baseball.
Which city's got best internet?
Most
Get those
viewed,
dubs.
Most viewed YouTube video.
That is a thing, isn't it?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's a thing. I read somewhere that all the pro esports guys are moving to like Texas or somewhere that has the best internet.
Yeah. No,
and
you're right.
To me, it's hilarious.
Snell to the Rangers.
Snell to the Rangers. Boom, we cracked the code. That's a true thing, James.
I like that. So, Snell to the Rangers. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either.
And then trades cease. Bieber is still likely to get traded, but he hasn't been in talks at all, really.
Burns
is interesting.
Last know when.
Yeah, because the Dodgers made their move. So, like...
Dodgers identified which one they wanted.
Whoever signs Yamamoto, if they need to make another move after that, they'll just do it. Because they're not done. But then the other teams that didn't sign Yamamoto, now they go into, like, the bidding wars with the next free agent who's going to drag it out, Snell. So, as soon as Yamamoto goes, I think you're going to get one of the pitchers that has, a 1 or 2 year deal coming to him signed.
Our next run on 1 year guys.
Swooped up. Yeah.
I could see
or a trade. Or a trade happens.
There's a lot of great names out there that are being dangled in trade rumors, dude.
Who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, Framber is being named as a guy that the Houston Astros could potentially trade. Is that like a thing?
Really? I haven't seen that. But I'm not everywhere all at once. I'm not all becoming.
Kenny just had a whole thing about if Houston's ever going to be open to that, now would be the time to be open to doing that. And there's been, you listen on everybody you've got on your roster. That's the GM's job, and that level has happened at least.
I don't listen to everyone. No, I do not listen for everybody. Framber's a guy that I just don't trade. Sorry, I can't. Like, you can't do that to your culture in your clubhouse. And maybe I don't know. That's crazy to me to think about that. You're in this beautiful competitive window, and you got this guy that's just homegrown that is got massive nuts, can pitch in any game possible. Small glove, huge nuts. He's on my team till he's not.
That's what you said the first time you met me.
I've never seen your nuts.
I haven't in a long time.
They could be huge now.
Yeah, they could have changed.
Have they, Jake?
They're pretty similar
to when they were before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't noticed. I mean, I guess with age, there's more of they continue to go, right?
Yeah. What would Noodle think?
I try to keep them away from him because he is a curious dog.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got a hammer.
Ooh.
It's true.
Your dog.
Theoretical question. I'm going to throw out there, and anybody that's has a team can comment on this one. I'm going to give it to you guys as Yankee fans. Obviously, we're talking Yanks basically here. Would you rather have the Yankees sign Jordan Montgomery to a 5-year deal worth, I don't know, let's just call it 150 million. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go less because I want to make it more enticing. Let's go 5 years at 27 mil. So now we're talking 135 mil.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Or you trade for Corbin Burns and Dylan Cease. But you only have Corbin Burns for 1 year, and you're not going to re-sign him, and you have Dylan Cease for 2 years, and you had to give up some of your prospects.
It gets a little tricky because who are we giving up?
Let's just say if
minor
you're
leaguers.
Top 5 prospects, you'll give up 2 of them.
Oh, you made this question very easy. It's the second one. I take the 2 pitchers that are better than the 1 pitcher.
You only have them for that little bit of time.
Do it again in 3 years.
I agree. I'm looking at this trade market right now, and I'm salivating. Like, let's go get some of these guys. Like, we can check free agency next year. Like, let's go get these guys. Bieber, Cease, fucking Burns, Luzardo.
Operate in 4-year windows. That's what teams should do. It's kind of what the Dodgers been doing. I know they haven't won a World Series, but they win a lot until recently. Everyone else was quick deals.
I thought they buy championships.
They haven't won.
Everyone's telling me
they haven't won a full season championship since '88. I don't know if that's the right year. Unlike the Mariners, who operate in a 10-year window of losing on purpose.
Well, 10 years of 54%.
Oh, I hate that. I forget about it a lot.
He said it out loud.
Another Jeff Passan bomb on this. He went on some Seattle show and was talking about how Seattle fans should just feel disgusted with their team.
Yeah,
they on him a little bit.
They do. I get sucked into Mariners X.
TikTok. On the clock.
A chunk. Oh. And yeah.
Mariners TikTok, is that just fishing?
Marine life.
They salary dumped
people not on salaries. When Jolly came on the show and did an episode with me, we did a whole. I said we have to do a whole segment on this because this is crazy. They're salary dumping salaries that aren't big lifts for other teams. So other teams were just getting players. The Braves just salary dumped their salary dumps. The Braves and Mariners trade was a fucking guy kicking a rock down the road. Just for fun. Just because he was early for where he needed to be. So he thought, let me just kick this rock around the parking lot for a little bit. And that was what the Braves and the Mariners trade was.
Okay.
And the Mariners were the rock.
The Braves have turned the offseason into the game they play on their phone.
Did you see what I tweeted? I think the Braves.
Matt Carpenter? Yeah, sure.
I think the Braves are sitting around the room in their front office, like the 4 of them, and being like, all right, Joe, you're up. Go trade for a guy and see if you can flip him. You got a week. And they did 4 in a row, and finally it was Mark's turn or whatever, and he got Carpenter, and he was like, fuck, guys, I can't flip him.
Thought the Yanks would want him.
Yeah, and then the game ended. They'll start again soon. The Braves will make a Christmas Day trade because, Mark's fucked up. He's got to do another flip. They're so bored. It's so cool.
You're going to give us Kelnick? All right.
Yeah, we need to get out of fucking Evan White's contract.
Marco Gonzalez is 12 mil.
The Mariners. What punks? Rude. Why don't you move to Vegas? Just as rude as what you're doing. See you guys. Go Yanks. Go the Yankees.
That's a tough way to end there for Seattle.
I'm sticking up for their fans.
I agree.
Big
I totally agree.
I don't think they want to move the team.
Well, then sell it. I was saying it's just as rude.
Start doing the moves you should. Your team's good.
We'll see you next year.